Joining us now with stories trending around the world on a special day, which is every Friday, is OG Okpe.
My favorite day of the week. I'm glad that you're happy this morning. How are you this morning?
I'm always happy.
Is there Oble this weekend? I've learned a new word. Oble. Good night, not Good morning, Rufi of Fine.
April already?
No,
when is your special day?
No, my birthday is in a few months.
Yeah, in a few months.
Good morning, Rufi of Fine. How are you this morning? Well, all right. That's the spirit for the weekend.
Yes,
well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending with reactions to the major political earthquake that rocked the Nigerian Senate on Thursday as 9 senators simultaneously defected to the African Democratic Congress, dealing a significant blow to the PDP, the Labour Party, and APGA ahead of 2027. Senate President Godswill Akpabio read out the official defection letters in the chamber, confirming the movement of 3 senators from the Labour Party, 1 from APGA, and 5 from the PDP, with Senate President exclaiming that the PDP is gone. Let's take a look.
The first letter is a letter of addressed to the President of the Senate and dated yesterday, but submitted just a few minutes ago. And this one is from Senator Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. Letter of defection from the People's Democratic Party. Oh, PDP is gone. Letter of defection from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the West African Democratic Congress. African Democratic Congress.
SP, check very well. I think it's APC. It's not ADC. AP. Check very well.
I've checked. My eyes are still good. I think this is to the African Democratic Congress. It's almost it's almost a sister to APC.
ADC is a sister party. Well, all right. Among those prominent names of senators who defected is former Sokoto State Governor and Senate heavyweight Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, veteran lawmaker, Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe of Abia South, and FCT Senator Ireti Kingibe. The defectors cited internal crisis and leadership disputes within their former parties as reasons for the move, while Nigerians on social media have reacted, with many asking whether these lawmakers are chasing power or actually serving the people who voted for them. And of course, Dr. Bati, there is also the conversation about Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe losing his seat. I'll take some reactions from that story. And this is from Abia State. He wrote, I just got this video of Senate President Akpabio rejecting Senator Abaribe's letter notifying the Senate that he's decamped from APGA to the ADC. Meanwhile, those who decamped to the APC had a smooth sail without any questioning. We shall see in their next session. Well, another ex-user wrote, so let's get this straight. Enyinnaya Abaribe faces losing his Senate seat simply for joining the African Democratic Congress. Is exercising political freedom now considered a crime? Democracy isn't about punishing lawmakers for changing parties. It's about letting representatives act according to conscience and the will of their constituents. And finally, this ex-user still wrote, the irony is hard to miss. In 2018, Godswill Akpabio defected from People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress while serving as Senate Minority Leader. Now, Enyinnaya Abaribe is being removed after moving to the African Democratic Congress. Well, rules should be consistent, not apply differently depending on who is in power. That's what strengthens democracy, and that's the actual fact. That's what, basically strengthens democracy. What is good for the goose sometimes is good for the gander. But, this is the reaction that we are hearing from Nigerians online, especially with regards to Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe. I'll come to you, Ayo, about Senator Ireti Kingibe, but I'd love your comments.
Okay. During headline segment,
yes.
I already commented on this, quoting all the relevant sections of the enabling law, section 65, section 68, section 109, sub-IG, 1G, and then what the two senators who objected to the Abaribe matter were saying, namely that the President of the Senate, under Order 20 sub-J of the standing orders of the Senate, can take a decision whether the defection of a member will be acceptable or not. And in this particular case, Senator Barau Jibrin and Senator Okpe having said, well, they are not aware that there is any division in the party. And now Senator Abaribe, and I think we should be interested in how the matter will be resolved, has been given 1 week within which to give a proper explanation as to evidence that there is division within APGA. Now, but he said in September 2025, he was expelled from the party, and that's the evidence that he has. So how they resolve the matter remains to be seen. I also said that perhaps if he had defected to the APC, that wouldn't be a problem. Because as we have seen, in the case of the Rivers lawmakers, where everybody became a constitutional expert, quoting section 109, sub 1G and all that. But at the end of the day, those lawmakers were accepted, and eventually they ended up in the APC. And also, the Inwifuru case of 2022, the Devumai case of 2022. So these are precedents. And the point is simply that the National Assembly, whose job is to make law for good order, good governance, and stability of Nigeria, should be seen to be consistent in its application of the law. They cannot approbate and reprobate on the basis of political convenience. That's why all of us should keep our eyes open. However, if the Senate decides one way or the other, Senator Abaribe can still go to court. And then the court would decide whether this falls within the framework of the Abegunde case of 2015, Abegunde versus Ondo State House of Assembly, or the Supreme Court will rule differently. I don't think they can just order him out of the Senate like that. He will have to fight for his rights.
You will. All right. And there is already drama surrounding Senator Ireti Kingibe's defection, as the Wuse Ward chapter of the ADC in the FCT announced her indefinite suspension just hours after she formally defected to the party, accusing her of anti-party activities, insubordination, and violation of party rules. But the ADC national leadership has swiftly distanced itself from the suspension, declaring that it is unaware of any suspension of Senator Kingibe and urging the public to disregard the reports as false and misleading. Senator Kingibe herself has described the suspension as illegal, null, and void, insisting those who carried it out lacked the authority to do so. Well, some have said that it's only in Nigeria that this, could happen. A political marriage like this can collapse before the ink is even dry. Now, the ADC national leadership says it knows nothing about her suspension. I mean, what I'll say now is this is, not a smooth sail for Ireti Kingibe. I mean, I don't think this is what she expected. One hand, she's hearing she's been suspended in her constituent area, and they're saying that she's been indefinitely suspended. I don't understand what's going on with her.
So for Senator Kingibe, it's almost seems like 1 week, one trouble.
Yes.
If she's not getting heat from the FCT minister, then she's getting heat now from her new party. I recall that last year she had resigned from the Labour Party, and in December she had announced that she was registering to become a member of the ADC. But this was the formal defection, should I say, party, because it looks like there's a jamboree with a number of people there defecting this season. So, having said that, what this demonstrates, and then, OG, obviously, you've detailed what happened at what level and at national level.
Yes.
In fact, the statement of Malam Abdullahi states that as a law-abiding political party, the ADC has clear constitutional channels and procedures for addressing any allegations involving its members. It means that the procedures were not followed. So already we see that for a party, ADC, there are already internal issues around procedural matters. Factions might want to start to rear its head. In Abuja, they're saying that they suspended her for certain things she did during the last elections. So what I want to say is that, number one, I believe that she deserves fair hearing and an investigation into the matter. She's left the Labour Party on whose platform she emerged as senator. And don't forget, there was a wave of the obedience at the time, and she was able to defeat the incumbents during the elections, the tightly fought elections. But I also want to highlight, OJ, this morning, and so to end that, I'll say an investigation must be done, and ADC should get their, acts together, because it's too early for them to start having, ward and national level interactions and procedures not, being followed. But more importantly, is a question around representation and female representation in the Senate.
Yes.
And the amount of trouble this woman has had to face being in there. You cannot take away the gender card from this. And it's not just a gender card, it's the issue around the fact that currently we have just 4 female senators. And even the 4 female senators are not allowed to put 2 feet on the ground for some of them. If it's not Senator Kingibe today, it's Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan tomorrow. There are issues around the fact, and that's why we keep saying that when the women get in, they need to form some sort of alliance and be strong together, because you can see that there is a patriarchal system there that one way or the other would not allow their feet to rest. So I'm hopeful that in the next cycle of elections, we can see more women representation.
Yes.
And beyond just having women in the room, it's actually having support for them in the room so that they're not targeted and attacked one way or the other. However, if the allegations are proven to be true, then I also believe in fairness, but it has to be done properly. And as the ADC has already said, due process must be followed.
Due process
that's the most important
followed.
thing.
And we have to just keep pushing for women in politics, and supporting them
while they are there.
Supporting them while they are there.
Really attack on them this season.
Really what it should be. Well,
just one line. I hope this is not what they call the voice of Esau, the voice of Jacob, the hands of Esau. You recall that the FCT minister, who is in PDP, one leg in PDP, one leg in APC, had vowed that Senator Ireti Kingibe will not return in 2027.
It's been from the beginning.
You know that the FCT minister has demonstrated that he has significant influence on the political process in the Federal Capital Territory. We may not have any concrete proof, but the witch cried last night. The baby died, or the baby is in coma the following morning.
All right, we'll follow up on the story.
Just speculating.
I take exceptions to that.
Just
FCT minister, don't speculate.
Because to be honest, if he has shown and demonstrated influence in the PDP and the APC, now he's reaching his tentacles to the ADC. ADC, watch out.
He said categorically that Ireti Kingibe will not come back.
That was a big story. We'll follow up on the story. Well, let's now head to Abia State now, where activist Omoyele Sowore joined a mass protest in Aba dubbed the 1 Million Man March, as demonstrators took to the streets demanding the unconditional release of detained IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. Addressing a large and enthusiastic crowd on Wednesday, Sowore called on President Tinubu to free Nnamdi Kanu, arguing that his continued detention is political persecution for refusing to abandon the Biafran self-determination struggle. He also criticized the heavy military presence in Aba, asking why those same soldiers could not be deployed to Zamfara to tackle terrorism. Let's take a look.
Justice Omotosho to send Nnamdi Kanu to jail. They can never stand. And they have now understood, but they have not learned their lessons yet. We are not here to make long speeches. I came here to identify with all of you in Abia, and all over Nigeria and all over the world. That until Oyen will come home, we are not stopping.
We're talking about Omoyele's red carpet for chiefs. But Rufai, Nnamdi Kanu has been in detention since 2021, and the calls for his release have never stopped, from courtrooms to street protests. The solution, many believe, is not legal, it is political. President Tinubu has the power to initiate dialogue, to pursue a resolution. But will he do so? Those are the questions, and I don't know the effect of this 1 million man march at this moment. Rufai.
I would just spot on the analysis of what people are saying. The solution is largely political. So there is one part of the permutation, and please, it's a permutation. It's an opinion by some people. It's not based on any facts. It's not empirical. That President Tinubu might try to use this Nnamdi Kanu case, to play a political game leading up to the election, which might be its final strategy leading up to the elections. It's not based on facts, it's an opinion. Some people have even said, hopefully, that maybe we release him close to the election. Because when you look at it, see, in as much as we condemn the methods at which it was done, let us not forget the fact that there is marginalization against the Igbos, yes, against other ethnic groups in this country, but there's high marginalization against the Igbos. I mean, take for instance, I think we make this argument when we're there. Since we've returned to democracy, why can't an Igbo man become president? Yoruba man, Hausa man, Ijaw man has become president. Why can't an Igbo man become president? At least in this country, after the Civil War, there was a consensus of some sort by the two political parties. And Igbo men were both running mates in the 79 elections. Why can't we go one step further? That's just the question. I know some people will argue and say, oh, competence should not be based on zoning and all of that. I get the argument. But are you telling me that there is no Igbo man that is competent enough to be president? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a consensus that the reason why we had 2 Yoruba men on the ballots in 1998-1999 elections was a way to compensate the Yoruba people for what had happened to MKO Abiola. Can we also be intentional? Because I feel to a large extent, even if it's just 1 term or 2 terms, an Igbo person, becomes president in this country. And I must have to add, power is not served a la carte. The person must work for it. It will shift a lot of the narrative. I mean, when people say, oh, we have been marginalized and all of that, we can now say, an Igbo man has become president now. But as it is today, to make that argument is not buoyant enough. And these are part of the things Nnamdi Kanu is talking about and the agitation. At some point, it was Ralph Wazirike. That marginalization argument still gains traction. Today is Nnamdi Kanu. Tomorrow, another person can pick it up from that region.
All right.
So let's just all be careful. And President Tinubu, let's see how we can do this politically.
So you're up for a political solution?
It's a political solution.
Well,
since the days of Buhari, they went to meet Buhari. It was Rike Amici and the other people went to meet Buhari then. Some Igbo leaders. I don't know why that conversation never sailed through.
All right. I'm sure that we're not going to hear the end of this Nnamdi Kanu protest and the quest and the call for him to be released. And of course, we'll bring the story up on Arise News. Now to a troubling story generating outrage online. Students of Kaduna Polytechnic were reportedly barred from entering their campus on Wednesday morning over a dress code enforcement, with security personnel allegedly citing the ongoing Ramadan fasting period as justification for demanding students cover their bodies more fully. Videos circulating on social media show frustrated students, many of them female, gathered at the school gate, arguing that their outfits were not indecent and questioning the practicality of wearing additional layers in the scorching heat. Let's take a look.
I just came to Aboromina. I am coming from school. I have my school ID. This is what I'm wearing. This is what I'm wearing. I am fully covered. My trust has reached ground. There is nothing wrong with what I'm wearing. Tell me why I came here now. And the security already cleared me. Security already cleared me to enter inside the school. Only for me to enter, and one man in particular called me back. And this particular man is somebody that I've encountered in Tudu, that is always that students have to fight with him at the gate. Because he's been extreme. See, people are standing outside. People waited transport to come to school. And you are sending them back for very useless things. Tell me why you tell me that this lady, that the shirt of her hand, that the hand of her shirt is short, so she cannot enter school. That the hand of her clothes is short. What rubbish is this? Her breast is not showing. Her clothes is to the ground. And you are saying her hand is short. So look at students outside. They are not like Poly, I beg. I mean, I did not pay school fees for this rubbish. I don't know if Catholics are aware that this is what their security is doing.
Dr. Bati, this is unreasonable. I mean, Kaduna Polytechnic is a federal institution built to serve students of every faith and background, and personal religious observance must never be used to dictate the rights and freedoms of others, and Nigeria's educational institutions must remain spaces of inclusion and not imposition. I thought that this was quite outrageous when I saw the outfit, actually. Short sleeves, full outfit. But the thing is, they're saying is the one security guy that is at the gate, that it may not be the school may not be aware. Your thoughts?
Okay, Godwin Ayegba, the Deputy Registrar, Information and Protocol of Kaduna Polytechnic, has issued a statement saying that yes, the Polytechnic has a dress code. And that dress code is to make sure that students dress decently and that, they do not constitute themselves into a distraction. But that in this particular case, it looks like those students shown in that video, they are properly covered.
They are.
But that if it is a security official at the gate who was being overzealous, that the school has now set up a committee to investigate exactly what happened. Secondly, that the school is not going to remove its dress code, and that's understandable. It's not just Kaduna Polytechnic that has a dress code for students. Other schools, have a dress code also, just to make sure that the idea of education is respected. So we hope that the authorities of Kaduna State Polytechnic will not just stop at issuing this explanation, and we did early too, but that the public too will know what will transpire at the end, because the individual who brought this kind of situation about in that polytechnic is trying to introduce through the back door ISBA into a school of learning. The investigation should try to find out whether that security man is a closet ISBA policeman in Kaduna State. Our argument is that, as you pointed out, a school of learning should be an exclusive space for ideas. The lady was saying they asked her to remove earring and neck chain. Please, what has the use of earring got to do with fasting?
I don't know.
Because I don't quite see the connection.
There's no connection. Yeah.
And then they said this man kept saying, your arm is exposed. Your this is exposed. Please, if seeing a woman's arm will disturb his fasting, let him go and buy a pair of dark glasses.
Or blindfolds.
Or have a blindfold. Or walk about looking at the sky. So, the overzealousness anyway, will be addressed. The school has told us, the idea of the university is not a secondary school where you force people to cut their nails and cut their hair.
I thought it was good to
And it is sexist.
It is absolutely
because
sexist.
It's not male students who are complaining.
All right.
It is the female students.
All right.
And then that girl should be protected, OJ. I think she shouldn't be victimized because her face is out there. She was very brave enough to tell her story.
Right. The school is aware now.
Yeah,
so they
should
find out who that security guy is and hope that he's not a closet ISBA security officer. Well, all right. Well, now to a heartbreaking story trending online. A popular Abuja-based content creator, Deka George, is mourning the death of her 36-year-old sister, Amaka, who passed away at a general hospital in Abuja after the facility had no oxygen available during a medical emergency, and Amaka was pregnant. In an emotional tribute, Deka revealed that she missed her sister's calls because she was in Lagos attending court hearings, fighting a legal battle stemming from a consumer dispute with a hair vendor known as Rainbow Hairs. She wrote, "Life is so fickle. My sister would have been alive today if I didn't have 2 court cases in Lagos. You called, but I was being dragged from magistrate court to federal high court. You called, but I missed your call because I was busy fighting for my life and freedom in Lagos. So I missed the opportunity to save you. I am sorry, Sister Amaka. I wish I could go back in time. I would be with you in Abuja and we could have saved you. A whole general hospital didn't have oxygen. Nigeria failed you. I failed you." This is such a touching tribute. But may her soul rest in peace. We reached out to, one of her sisters. We are being told that the incident happened at the Buhari General Hospital. Imagine a pregnant woman dead because a general hospital had no oxygen. This is not just Decca George's tragedy. This is Nigeria's tragedy. A young mother and her unborn child lost, not to an incurable disease, but to a system that failed them completely. We're hearing these sort of stories every day, Ayo. It's becoming a norm.
Yes, it's heartbreaking. It's been a problem we've had for a number of years, but I'm glad that now, it's receiving the much needed attention. But it's not just about us talking about it. If we discuss this, we have the statistics that the United Nations, the World Health Organization, has released a number of times without attendant response. We'll continue to talk about it like this. I want to first of all reach out to Decca George, Lady Decca George, and say that I hope that she will not blame herself for this. Because even if she were there, if the hospital didn't have oxygen, it would still have ended this way. Please don't take on the responsibility of what is a failure of state and our hospital or healthcare system. Our condolences to you. But OG, the statistics are stark. Nigeria has one of the highest number of maternal mortality rates. In fact, a woman in Nigeria has 1 in 9 or 1 in 22 chances or the risk of dying. And the highest contributory factor to this is poor healthcare facility, poor healthcare management. So we put this solely on the feet, or largely on the feet, of governments that have failed, mismanaged funds for many years, neglected the health sector for many years, and have ignored this part of society. So what we are calling for is that women like Decca's sister ought not to die because of a process that in other parts of the world, even though there are risks attached to it, the risk has been reduced to a very minimal level. We can do something about it. And kudos to the NGOs who are already working in this sector, but Nigerian government, please wake up. Stop killing our women, stop killing our children, stop killing Nigerians.
Really sad. In fact, you had
Thank you for giving me the time. During COVID-19 pandemic, the federal government initiated the construction and rehabilitation of oxygen plants in Abuja as a part of national strategy to tackle critical oxygen shortages. Establishment of new plants, rehabilitation of existing ones, emergency supply. The project, which was included the construction of plants and installation of equipment, was estimated to cover 5.6 billion. The question is, where's the accountability of this project? Where's the oxygen plants they built during COVID?
Yes.
How was this 5.6 billion spent?
This was a general
That's the question we're asking them.
Very good question there, very good question. May Decca's sister's soul, Amaka, rest in perfect peace. Now let's take this story to highlight what can only be described as a miracle. A newborn baby discovered abandoned near a public dustbin, double wrapped in a sack, in an attempt to suffocate the infant, was miraculously rescued by Good Samaritans. The Giver Supportive Foundation shared the remarkable rescue on social media, showing the tiny baby still breathing, still fighting against every odd stacked against it.
Some people can be so heartless. Anybody that did this thing, may earth and heaven cause that person.
What a miracle. What a miracle. Bittersweet. Thank God the infant was rescued in time and rushed to a medical center for treatment. The Giver Supportive Foundation, a Nigerian non-for-profit organization, focused on supporting vulnerable individuals and families, shared the footage as a call to awareness, urging anyone in desperate situation to contact government agencies or orphanages rather than abandon a child. I mean, it is so wicked for you to, I just pray they find the mother, because the intention was to kill this baby. And the baby was double wrapped and put in a sack, tied in a sack. I mean, the baby definitely was not supposed to die. Real miracle. And I thought to highlight this. Yes, I'd
like to do something small towards the school of the baby.
The Givers Foundation, really.
Yes. That the baby, that his story or his story will end up like that of Moses, who was found by the riverside by the daughter of Pharaoh. And Moses ended up finding favor and grace with God. It's not always that, a baby is thrown away. And, it wouldn't be the case that that child will find favor. In a country where people are looking for fruit of the womb, all the churches are fully packed on during special sessions of the fruit of the womb. And if people are not going to the church, they are going to other places, IVF, surrogacy, whatever else that is involved. And then somebody will get that fruit of the womb and throw it away. That makes it really sad.
Yeah, the only excuse may be insanity. The mother might have been insane. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Be poverty, it could be deprivation.
I said for me, it's only insane.
That would make an excuse.
Completely mad to actually do that to a child. Again, the foundation is the Givers Supportive Foundation. Anyone who wants to support their cause, we thank God for, I call her Baby Miracle. Thank you to the Givers Supportive Foundation. Now let's head to Edo State to highlight this trending video of Edo State APC chieftain Blessing Agbomere, armed and walking through a forest with masked gunmen. In a video, Agbomere called out Edo youths for sitting in air-conditioned rooms, complaining about insecurity instead of entering the bush to chase out kidnappers themselves, rather than wait for government action. Let's take a look.
As I talk for Isako, with the government went to the disturb men for everywhere. They for school, they rugged, and all of that. And many of them they run for kidnappers. And kidnappers they catch some of them. When all of them for decide, maybe they enter inside bush. We will go chase all these people out of our place. They go to complain. They go down for inside AC, for inside town. They complain about the security. So me, I believe Satan don't reach one of us, Because all those people where they call kidnappers, they don't know the back up now. And they don't even know what we know. So I believe Satan don't reach when all of us go enter bush. For sure those criminals come out.
All right, guys, there he is with armed escorts, a camera and a call for unarmed youths to enter the bush. Nigerians online have just one question to Blessing Agbomere, saying that if he goes around with armed guards, walk through the forest, why ask ordinary Nigerians to go there alone? I mean, is this a joke or not? He should never have. He thinks it's a skit.
And it's funny.
Yes.
Ayo, you were talking about Ondo the other day. They brought corpses of dead people. Our military officers, some of them die in all of this. And this guy is making mockery of all of it. He thinks it's a joke.
All right. Well, all right. It's not a joke, and we're not allowed to have guns. Well, now are the milestones.